So, what shall we call this? Foreplay, perhaps? What is up, everybody? Welcome to Miss Sophia the Diva's channel. I am Miss Sophia the Diva. You are watching my thoughts and perspective on HBO's Big Little Lies. We are in season 4, episode 2. She knows. She knows. She knows. Hey, shout out to J. Cole. Y'all know I was just using this prop. I don't actually wear glasses or contacts at all. And no, I haven't had any surgery. I just have really good genes. But, and yes, I am sipping on a little tea today. It's hot as hell outside, but my stomach is off today. I don't know what all that's about, but a little ginger tea makes everything better. Again, I'm Miss Sophia the Diva. If this is your first time here and you like what I have to say, I think you should subscribe to my channel because, honey, that would help me out and save me from having to go back to corporate America. I'm just saying. So as of this recording, I'm now sitting at 365. I lost 2 followers last Tuesday, but that's okay. So, but you're here. So you clicked on this video. You're watching. I hope you're enjoying my dialogue. And we're going to get into this episode, okay? A Big Little Lie. Yes. It was a big lie. Small world. It was a big lie. The place you live looks opulent and obviously a higher rent than our cozy little room. I have this sense of doom. Anyway, y'all know I can't sing, but I love to break out in song. Who wants to go do karaoke? We should totally go do karaoke. But either way, that was from Sting. That was from his album. I forgot which album, but I keep that album on high rotation. But he has a song on there called Big Little Lies, Small World. And it's kind of like every move you make. He's stalking his ex and watching her live her best life. Okay. But let's get into this episode. So if my memory is right and my Twitter notes are correct, because that's how I keep notes. That's why I purposely tweet during episodes so I can come back here and give you all my thoughts and perspectives on things. But when we open up the episode, Madeline and Jane and Renata are at Madeline's house because, as it turns out, as the episode proceeds, we learn that they are having a pumpkin carving contest for the children. The school is putting it on that next week, which is like 2 weeks earlier from Halloween, but they want to get it over and done with, I guess. Y'all, my girl Madeline, she in bad shape, honey. She so bad, she like a damn tweet song. I mean, she up here smoking. Ed got her smoking on cigarettes. Because, you know, Ed kind of is checked out on the marriage now that he knows that Madeline stepped out on him. And one of the things that Ed also has not realized, it's almost what Madeline did. It almost makes you want to beat her down because Ed is a really great guy. But now he realizes in some respects, like all nice men eventually do, hopefully, that sometimes nice guys finish last. But you have to be careful about who you select as a partner, too, because some women, like me, appreciate a nice guy, okay? I like being, you know, you catering to me and us doing things together. You providing, you know, I'll let you provide. You know, I don't have a problem with that because I've been providing for myself for the past 30 years or so. It's been 30 years? No, 20-something years? 22 years? Yeah. Either way, girl, she out here smoking on cigarettes. Renata over here in full meltdown because, you know, she broke ass now. She got to go to bankruptcy court, and she tells them that, you know, her and Gordon are going to go to bankruptcy court on a Saturday, which is unusual. But because there are special circumstances, you know, they can do it on a Saturday. And Jane said something that was interesting to me. She was like, so I just can't believe you still with him. And I was just like, where did that come from? Like, what would you know about somebody being with someone? Because I think that Perry was the first man she had ever been with. But Renata said what all of us know, be it married or even in a committed relationship you've been in for some time, we stay. Some of us stay because we're hopeful. Some of us stay because why leave when we've been at it this long? Might as well stay. So she was like, I can't believe you're not going to divorce him. And I'm like, easy for you to say because you're not married. Now, all of us standing on the outside looking in can say what we would have, could have, should have done in any situation. But I just found it coming from Jane was kind of odd. But I think Jane is on this fucking shit. I don't give a damn about nobody. I'm just worried about me and my son, okay? And I need to go to therapy because she really does. Because as this episode plays out, they don't really highlight and focus a lot on it. But Jane has a lot of issues from being a rape victim. And I don't ever see them showing her going to counseling. We only see her going to work, raising her son, and interacting with the ladies. So that's a subject matter that needs to be addressed. But Renata, when she was saying it, she was like, you know, that's what we do. Men fuck up and we stay. But I love how she was when Madeline was up there smoking. She was like, oh my God, are you smoking? Nobody smokes anymore. I was like, baby, there's plenty of folk out here smoke. Why they do it, I don't know. The only thing I want now is a cigar every now and then, now that I done got hip to that. So, yeah, I might catch me down at Burn. I forgot what the other place is here in Atlanta. It's a black-owned cigar bar. Well, minority-owned, because I don't think the wife is black. I think she's like Indian or Pakistani or something. The doorbell rings. Y'all, doom and gloom has showed up on Madeline's doorstep. It's Mary Louise ass. Oh, hi, I heard that you were having a pumpkin carving. I won't stay but a minute. We all know the only reason Mary Louise sloughed her ass over there was because she wanted to get at Ziggy. So she comes in, she's like, oh, there's my 2 grandchildren. Now, wait a minute, going back. She said something about them being twins. I never realized that Celeste and Perry's boys were twins. I don't know how it never registered for me. I just figured it out this season, which I guess they always be in the same class, but I thought this was like a Montessori type elementary. I didn't know. You know, they could be in and out of classes. I didn't know. But she shows up. She's like, oh no, there's 3. I thought there was a 3rd. And the boys are like, it's there. And it's Ziggy. Oh my God. And everyone is just sitting there looking like, what the fuck is Mary Louise doing here, right? And all the audience, we wonder, why is she there? To be messy, maybe to pluck a piece of Ziggy's hair out so she can get some DNA testing. And she's like, oh, I just want to come by and say hi. And that's when she meets Bonnie. And she's like, oh, I know if I had met you before, I would never forget. You're so pretty. I want to say, bitch, you would remember her because she the only black person they got in Monterey. Okay. Shit. Like her mama Elizabeth said, I ain't seen not one black person. Hey, go down to the elementary in the 2nd grade. There's a 2nd grade teacher. I still don't know his name. What is his name? If y'all know the teacher's name, and I've tried to look it up on IMDb, but I don't know. But either way, if y'all know what his name is, let me know. But let's keep going. But this is where a pivotal moment, to me, this was the best moment in the episode. Epic. So she announces casually that, oh, I finally found the place and it's in Jane's building. So that way I can keep the boys, for overnights and stuff. And I'm just like, Mary Louise, really? Like, how can you invade somebody's peace and think that that's okay? How can you be okay with that? Everybody's shocked. Everybody is shocked. So Celeste takes her off to the side and tells her, yo, how can you do something like that? That's not right, Mary Louise. That's just wrong. You can't just do that. That's like, invading her privacy and her space. And then that's when Mary Louise really got into it with Celeste and was being shady as fuck and was really just trying to provoke. I personally believe at this point, with the events that ensued, I really believe that Mary Louise was intentionally trying to provoke her, because later on in the episode, we find out what's really going on with Mary Louise. The peculiar life of Mary Louise. She basically tells her that how do we even know? I'm still not convinced that Perry really slept with her. And what was he looking for at night when he was with her? I mean, how many others were there? I mean, do you know? I mean, especially considering what y'all's relationship was like, or something to that effect. And that's when Celeste cold hot slapped her so hard, knocked her motherfucking glasses out. Her glasses was like, zoop! And then Celeste realized, oh God, I'm so sorry. I was like, oh, gee. Now ass when she was like, what are we gonna call this? Foreplay. I was like, bitch, oh, this old lady. And so this, of course, is an example of what Mary Louise can use as a means to say that Celeste is unwell and unstable and unable to control her emotions. My thing is, you purposely provoked her, Mary Louise. You just keep poking and causing confusion. I get it. You want to know what happened to your son, but there was a point, and we're going to talk about, there was a point in the episode when I realized that, oh my God, Perry is his mama. Because she got some tendencies too. After the pumpkin carving, Madeline has a moment in the room. I mean, in the kitchen. She's cleaning up. Ed comes in. He's asking, what is this? And she's like, oh, the school decided this. Renata's having a birthday party on this. Why can't people just check calendars? And then Ed was like, it always is just full forward attack, full forlorn. But when it comes to your relationship, why couldn't you just come at me straight like that? And she was like, it's nothing wrong with you. It's me. So basically, I don't know. Ed's trying, but at the same time, he's kind of at war with himself, considering that he has a wife that cheats. Bankruptcy court time arrives for Renata and Gordon. They have an attorney. She's like, I really don't understand why the attorney can't take care of this. I don't either, but you know how the government is. The government can be fastidious intermeddlers about things when it comes to our lives. And if we have representatives that speak for us, I'm like, here's the list of shit. Take care of that. Because who wants to go down there and do that? But Renata, once again, just like she did at the hospital when Amabella ended up in the hospital for a panic attack, she just don't get it. The attorney told them, when you go in there, basically be polite and cooperative, okay? And don't mention anything about the party that you're having. Next thing you know, the trustee, and before the trustee, which I can't remember the name of the show, but I remember the Mowry brother. He was on there. Cuba Gooding Jr.'s little brother was on there. I want to say Jason Weaver. I won't even say Essence Atkins. And the dad, the guy that played the dad was on there, who was playing the single dad, was on there. And he was just an asshole. I mean, he was like, put that right there. Put that right there. Because come to find out, I guess when they say assets, they're talking about everything from the rooter to the tutor of your life. They want to know, they don't give a fuck if it's a wedding ring. He even had the audacity to ask, do you know if you stand to inherit anything within the next year or so? And then he asked both of them, were their parents in good health? And Renata and Gordon was just appalled. And they were like, as far as we know. I mean, what is that? And even if they do inherit something, does the bankruptcy court have reach like that? I know when people get a divorce in the state of California, if you inherit something, unless you choose to commingle or have an agreement in place, you don't have to share that with that spouse. But it's the feds. The feds want everything. They rape our lives. So he was like, I'm looking at this list, and that Rolex you got on ain't on this list. That ring, she was like, my wedding ring. And the attorney was like, Renata, whatever. And so the point about the parents, though, that's what I wanted to highlight, is when Renata was like, I'm self-made. So now we kind of know that Renata obviously came from piss poor beginnings and has made all this money. I can't remember what her career is in, but she's a mogul. And she just wants to let him know there was something about a medical expense that was over $4,000 that wasn't declared through the insurance. And Renata gets smart at the mouth and goes, from having to deal with men like you all my life. And I was like, Renata, just answer the questions and be polite and get on. He said, you know what, ma'am, this is a bankruptcy hearing and I don't have to allow any of this. I don't have to even accept your bankruptcy. Do you understand? Do I make myself clear? Baby, but the sad part, they done left the court. They came in their own ride, y'all, Lord Jesus, and left in a taxi because he was like, how'd y'all get here? And she was in a Tesla. So I was like, why don't you just say you came in your own car? Okay. So I guess in bankruptcy, they take your car too? Oh my God, that is awful. Shit, I've been thinking about filing bankruptcy my damn self. Damn it, but student loans are no longer part of the bankruptcy code. They should be. Even if we can't dispel all of them, we should be able to get rid of half of them shits. But I digress. So Renata's having a meltdown in the backseat. She's like, I'm gonna give my daughter the best birthday party ever, and because and then she was talking about how a picker was off. I mean, just she was having a complete meltdown. But I would feel some type of way. I'm like, really, y'all take that car if the car is paid for. I mean, I guess maybe eventually what the bankruptcy judge will do is allow them to get a cheaper car or just give them that car. I don't know. But Renata was being too much. I will say this, though. Renata may be losing all, but she know how to put on a good party. Now, none of these babies know what the disco area is. But okay, it was a cute theme. I thought everyone's costumes. I always wonder about theme parties like that. I'm like, how are people always able to pull costumes and outfits together like that? Because I dread when people say, oh, we're going to have a 90s theme party. Oh, we're going to have a such and such party. I'm like, I'm broke ass. I ain't got it. That's why Renata, I already know when I get rich, I probably feel some type of way too, girl, if they tell me I got to get my shit back. I'm like, oh, God, help me. I don't want to be poor. Meanwhile, while everyone is in this fantasy disco studio, what was it, Studio 54, like theme, Mary Louise is out being the slithering, slimy, slime ball snake that she is. And she is talking to this dude named Ira Farber, who is this big-time family lawyer. Now, I'm going to have to do some research on this, and I meant to do this before the video, because somebody on Twitter asked me this, and I know that from what I remember from my ethics course in law school, yes, attorneys cannot take cases if they have any type of information from the other party that would interfere or cause a conflict with the parties. But I don't think that you can just call. But maybe she did a consult. If she physically went in the office and talked to every attorney, made an appointment to get a guardianship over her grandchildren, Celestes children, then maybe they would all have to conflict out, because they've met Mary Louise, they know the case, they know what her side of the story is. Attorney-client privilege attaches. But to my attorney friends that are actually practicing, I too much never paid any attention to family law anyway, but I do know across the board, there's a conflict of interest. Attorneys have to conflict out. So we basically know that part of Mary Louise being there, but you gotta admit though, Celeste gave her the ammo. Celeste falling asleep at the wheel. She goes through her pill box. Who knows? She probably took pictures of the medications and stuff, just trying to take an account of what all Celeste is on and why it is that the children are in an unsafe environment. But all I know, Renata must have had a really shitty childhood, because that's her big thing, is giving her daughter the world. I can understand it. Most parents, a lot of parents, good parents, or parents that mean well, will try to do that for their children, give them more they had as a child. Ed and Nathan, Lord help. Ed don't want to dance with Madeline. Nathan kind of notices that Ed is kind of being off by himself, the oddball. Now remember, Nathan is Madeline's ex-husband. They share a daughter. Baby! Nathan was like, I can relate. I've been there before. And Ed is like, why is he talking to me? Why? Go away. Just cough. Blah, blah. And Nathan was like, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't talk to me like that. The next thing you know, they end up in a skirmish. Ed's big afro comes off, and Renata's like, hey, happy. We're all happy here, okay? I was like, Renata know how to break up a fight too, girl. What street you come from? Renata used to be a street fighter. But that was good, though. I mean, it's the kids. Come on now. The children all around. Don't do that. That's tacky. Bonnie and her mother, Elizabeth, have some issues throughout the party, because apparently, if Elizabeth can touch you, she will see some things. And even in the house, she felt like there's a lot of dark matter here. I'm like, well, Renata lives there. She's kind of dark and miserable and kind of like the Wicked Witch of the East or whatever. Jane and her boo are at the party, right? Jane, she seems to be having a good time. They end up having a moment alone where she tells him, yeah, by the way, I was raped, and Ziggy is a product of the rape. That's how I got Ziggy. And I was like, whoa, girl, you actually told dude this? Oh, my God. That was something. But you could also tell that she was very uncomfortable. Like, she had moments of where she tried to take her guard down and really be in the moment. But I can understand because she said that Perry seemed like such a nice, gentle man, and then he turned into a raving lunatic. So you don't know what somebody can become once you. Some men are very cunning, and when you're a sociopath or a psychopath, you're good for that. Back to Bonnie and her mother. Bonnie's mother tried to read her. She tells her, no, we're not doing this. But as we close out the end of the party, when she touches her daughter, she starts to see floods of water, right? And then she falls out and starts foaming at the mouth. Everybody's screaming. Next thing we know, she's in the hospital. She's had a stroke. One of the things that hurt me the most, because I know there are parents that do this, blame the child for everything that goes wrong. When Bonnie's dad arrived at the hospital, he said, what was the last thing you said to her before this happened? What did you say to her? And I was like, why does it have to be Bonnie's fault why her mom had a stroke? Maybe since she's an older woman, the probability of any of us as we get in our 40s, 50s, and 60s, there's always a probability of us having a heart attack or a stroke. We never know how we gonna end up in life, okay? Life is unpredictable like that. But before she went down, she did have that psychic moment, right? Bonnie ends up having to leave the room, and that's when she sees the cop there, and she goes in, like, I can't believe you here, because she thinks the cop is there because she probably heard that Bonnie's mom was there, therefore Bonnie was there, and she was going to try to interrogate them again, but come to find out she was there because of a drunk driving car crash accident. Nothing to do with them. In Madeline and Ed's house, Madeline is going in about, it just really makes you think about life and all this. Poor Bonnie, I can't believe her mom had a stroke. And Ed is kind of just there. And he was like, are you okay? And she was just looking at him like, did you not just hear what I just said? I think with Ed, he's there in body, but not in spirit. Because that's when Madeline kind of just tells him, if you're going to leave me, just leave. I think that was the point in the show. But either way, at some point during this show, Madeline tells him, if you're going to leave me, just leave me. Ladies, that's right. Let's go ahead and just pull the Band-Aid off. If the man want to leave our asses, just let him go. Because one of the things that we must wrap our heads around is, why would you want to be with someone that can't stand being with you? We all want somebody, but do you want somebody at the expense of their happiness and your happiness? Because you always have to go to public. I'm just saying. Meanwhile, down to the bar with rich cars are. Shout out to Funky Dineva. I love that phrase that pays. It's awesome. Jane and Celeste are having a drink. And Jane is sharing with her about how she just can't believe that Perry turned out to be the man that he is. And she asked her a very poignant question. And albeit Celeste could not even answer it truthfully. She asked, did Perry ever rape her? And Celeste said no. Now, I will say this. Celeste probably has rationalized in her mind that we were married, so it couldn't be defined as rape. Don't matter, boo-boo. If you said no, and he went on anyway, it's rape. Jane is going to the hospital to visit with Bonnie. Turns out they done let the boys, both of them let the boys go stay with the crazy-ass grandma, Mary Louise. Jane leaves, Celeste stays, and with bartender Joe. What the hell? Let's do one more for the road. Make it one for my baby, and another one for the road. Oh, wait a minute. Set 'em up, Joe. I got a little story to tell. One I think you might know. Morning comes, Celeste is out of it, the boys are home. Celeste so out of it, baby, she done forgot she done brought Joe from down to the bar home with her. I said, goddamn, how you gonna slip up like this, girl? You know Mary Louise creeping. Baby, she didn't even know, and it was just awkward. He was like, hey, kids, and they looking at him like, who the hell is this man, mama? What? That ain't our daddy, he dead. Like, like, what? And Mary Louise was like, oh, okay. And that was enough for her to say, okay, I'm definitely filing these guardianship papers now. Later on, Madeline is over with Celeste. They're having a talk. And Celeste is confessing that basically, yeah, I was on Ambien and I don't remember shit. That's why I don't mess with Ambien. That stuff, as much as I used to need it back in the day when I was at this one job and was stressed out my fucking mind, Y'all, it was so bad. I ended up having to have a sleep study at one point because I used to wake up in the middle of the night and couldn't breathe. Turns out I didn't have sleep apnea or anything like that. I had panic attacks while sleeping. So I understand Ambien probably can help with that, but if it's going to have you forgetting who you done brought home and who in the house with you, girl, no, There's some, me and my psychiatrist, we need to try some other things. Mary Louise comes and interrupts, and she was like, well, now is the time for me to talk to you, Celeste. And Madeline's like, oh, was that my cue to go? And I was like, you know Mary Louise is rude. She don't have any manners. She don't know how to tell people to get out, or be polite about it and say, hey, I was wondering if it was okay if Celeste and I could talk. No, she's kind of like, Celeste, we need to talk. And that's when she tells her, sweetheart, I'm filing some papers. They're going to be filed Monday in the court. And, yeah, I'm taking your boys. What? I just think this would be best for the boys. And Ira picked up on the fact that he felt like the reason why she was trying to take the boys was because she wanted affection and love. And she was like, that's not why I want them. I just want them because, I want them to be safe. The truth of the matter is Mary Louise is looking for love and affection. And what she fails to realize is that it's you. There was a scene with her having pizza with the boys, and it's weird how they actually made her his mother because, he was like, this is the best pizza in the world. It's stringy cheese. And they were like, Dad used to do that too. And I was like mother, like son, honey. Like, okay. That right there, that little scene gave me a little insight into just how crazy Mary Louise probably is. Later on, we see Renata talking to, I think it was Madeline or somebody, about, having gotten Celeste the best attorney they could. Despite Celeste apologizing for what she did wasn't enough, she filed those papers, and we find out that Mary Louise had called every family lawyer in the area that she could so they could all conflict out, and Renata managed to find her a good one. Later on, we see Celeste talking to her therapist. I think maybe it's her psychiatrist. It's very rare. Most psychiatrists just prescribe, and then you usually have a therapist on your plan too, so you can tell them all your problems, but your medications usually are prescribed by the psychiatrist. But she's worried about would doctor-patient privilege apply, and the doctor assures her that it will. So she does have to be concerned, though, but it's very probable that the boys will be taken. When Renata was talking to, I can't remember who she was talking to. I want to say it was Madeline. But that cop shows up again on the scene. Jane even confronted Mary Louise at one point and said, I should be concerned because are you going to take Ziggy too? Do you feel like Ziggy is unsafe with me? These are questions they should be asking. But this video has gone on way too long. But I wanted to try to get this out before tomorrow's episode. I love this show, Big Little Lies. I think it's great. I did read an article where they were talking about Bonnie's appearance in this show. I think now Bonnie's time to shine is coming because we're starting to get a little bit more about her backstory and her relationship with her mother. It seems interesting. And in the previews, we see that her father tells her that your mother said the last thing she saw before she passed out was that you're drowning. She says you're drowning, and she is in guilt. But bottom line with this overall episode is Mary Louise ain't shit. Jane, you need to watch your back because she'll likely be coming from Ziggy too because she keeps saying she doesn't believe that it's possible that, you actually are the mother of, that her son is the father. So either way, that's all I got for this episode, Big Little Lies. Anyways, be sure to catch a Diva Disturbed this week on Tuesday night, 9:30 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, where I will be interviewing comedian Just Joey. It's Just Joey, honey. And we're going to be talking about City on a Hill as well, because he actually knows that show. I'm not reviewing it here personally, but if some of my guests know about certain things on the show, I always try to have them on here. But you can catch that live here on YouTube, or you can catch it on the Voscast. All of my links will be in the bottom bar. Anyway, I'm Miss Sophia the Diva. This has been Big Little Lies, Season 2, Episode 4, She Knows. And be sure to subscribe while you're here. Thank you, and stay fabulous.